we're going to be having our discussion segment on electoral reforms. It's our democracy, it's our Nigeria, and we have to talk about it. So with the Independent National Electoral Commission proposing 142 electoral reform proposal, we're at that moment of a transformative change in how we conduct elections in Nigeria. Some of the key issues being considered include improving voters' registration process, enhancing the transparency and security of voting systems, and addressing the perennial problem of electoral violence. There is also a focus on increasing the participation of marginalized groups such as women and persons with disabilities, as well as those on essential duties and Nigerians in diasporas and those in prison in the electoral processes and correctional facilities in the electoral process. These reforms aim to tackle some of the long-standing challenges that have undermined the credibility and fairness of our election. But the question remains, how can we make our elections truly reflective of the will of the people? What more needs to be done to ensure that every vote counts and every voice is heard? Join in this phone-in segment as we explore these questions and share your thoughts on the proposed reforms, suggest additional measures that could be taken, and let's discuss how we can collectively work towards better elections in Nigeria. What are those things you think that INEC should add to the reform? What do you think should be added to it? What do you think should be taken out from the reforms they've made? And what way can we better our election? It's time to hear your voice. So call in. The question and the numbers will be displayed on your screen shortly. Do want to call in and also send us messages on WhatsApp, and we'll be here to take them.
Absolutely. So with all these suggestions, should I say, or recommendations of these reforms, what stood out for me is the focused increase in participation of marginalized groups, which are women and people with disability, due to the fact that we are in a society where, I would say the woman is catching up to be in those positions, and it's been suggested or recommended that women have a quota, or people with disability have a quota when it comes to, electoral seats. And I believe that is in the right direction.
Something else that also, in addition to that, something that stood up for me as well was also the part of disabilities. INEC did it last year. They had brailles on the side of voters' card last year during election. They had elevated platforms for people on wheelchairs. They put in some few measures in place, but we're looking forward to seeing more. And also INEC's appointment powers. The reform looks at empowering INEC to appoint heads of its state and federal capital offices. This is to strengthen its autonomy and efficiency. So it no longer comes from the presidency, but now from INEC themselves to recommend people who will fill those offices. Well, then the question
would be, if those are put in place, would it eliminate any kind of, interference in the electoral processes?
Well, we'll get to find out, but let's take our first caller this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. My name is Tony Eze. I'm calling from Benue State.
Good morning, Tony Eze. Thank you for joining us now. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, if they know they are going to do electoral reform, they should do it immediately, because there is no time. By next year, now being 2026, we are not going to be talking about electoral reform. All will be about campaigning. And therefore, if they knew, the people in power now, if they knew they want to have a transparent election, things will be urgent, because we have seen the National Assembly passing some bill within 3 days. They have passed it. This is a matter of urgent. They should be better about it that people in power now will allow free and fair election. I doubt it, and I still doubt it. Reason is this: if there is free and fair election in Nigeria, all these people you see as our leader today will be flushed out. They will be flushed out. And if actually they know that they want to have a transparency election, we start from transmitting the result from the polling unit. After counting the votes in the polling unit, It should be transmitted, not waiting to go to local government level and county and then go to state. And before you know it, water has passed under the bridge. That is the number one thing they will do for us. Allow the vote that we vote from the polling unit to be transmitted right there. And then, what is holding us converting everything electronically? What is holding us? If not that they don't want us to have a free and fair election. What is holding Nigeria to have an electronically election? Let me stop so far and allow others to contribute. Good morning.
Good morning, Tony Eze. Thank you there for your thoughts. One of the recommendations I believe I heard him spoke about was transmitting the results directly from this voting center. You know, not waiting to get to the local government to do the coalition. Now, we understand that despite all of this, Nigerians still face challenges. But one reform that stood out for me was creation of new agencies. Electoral Offences Commission, this is to establish a body to investigate and prosecute election-related crimes. And they also look at creating political party regulatory agency. This is to oversee operations, internal democracy, and compliance with legal standards. We see that a lot are playing out in political parties, and it takes a while for INEC as a body to oversee that and to do anything. So if they have a special agency to handle that, you're sure that that is where they would, you know, specialize in and face squarely. And also for the electoral offences part. But when it comes to this electronic transmission of results, we need to cut them some slack, because it's about time we have networks to be able to handle this. Well, a lot of glitches could play out.
Absolutely.
But let's hear from the next caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Okay, this is Philip David from Niger State.
All right, thank you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Let me commend Trust TV for this program. It is timely because we Nigerians, we are suffering. Nigerians of nowadays are suffering. It's not easy. The elites are making it. They have the chance to galvanize the money that is meant for we, the less privileged. So I really commend Trust TV for this giant strike. But however, I don't know how we in Nigeria are going to do about this next election. This next election is crucial to us. You see, many of them are moving from PDP, other parties to APC because they know what they want. But we the less privileged, we will try as much as possible to make sure that we remove all these people because they have done a lot in ridiculing this country in the presence of all nations. So this bill, I think every one of us, especially the good Nigerians, we need this bill to be passed. And the National Assembly shouldn't joke with this matter. They shouldn't joke with this matter. With immediate effect. When the issue of national anthem came on board in the National Assembly, within 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, they tried as much as possible to at least allow the bill to be passed. So when we get to know that making sure that this bill is being passed will negate a lot of issues in the country. They won't like as much as possible to touch it. But they have to be very careful. They have to be very careful. So thank you, Trust TV. We are trusting you. I will still keep trusting you because I don't even think that we are having such a television station in Nigeria. But I really appreciate you. And I pray that the Lord will continue to help every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for trusting us. And we'll do our best to always put in the right information out there at all times to help you maintain your trust in us. Now,
there's been a particular, recommendation that has been, should I say, a point of a bone of contempt with people due to the fact that there's this lack of trust that people have for INEC, which is the modernization of the, PVC. When it comes to that and switching it to something digital, people are very skeptical about, being able to, vote and for it to count as well, and some whispers of that initiating or enabling rigging.
All right. Before we get to that, let's take the next call we have. Good morning.
Good morning, Kiyawa, and good morning, Ogazi. This is Abasekong calling from Gombe State.
Good morning, Abasekong. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, today topic is another wonderful one, electoral reform. Yes. Actually, this is the time that reform needs to be taken serious, just like the first caller said. Why is it necessary for it to be taken serious? Because the money back, that is when they want to show themselves and be performed. So, and we are going to stop them this time, just as we say. So, number one thing I want us to look at is one. The reforms they needed to do, the number one is that, one, the electorate, those that are going to vote, they must not leave that thing. Because from the point of counting, from the point, the word, a lot of things don't happen. Why do I say this? I remember a scene or a situation where I was privileged to be, and we did not follow those people that were carrying the ballot box. On the way inside the vehicle, they changed the figure. The figure everybody knew about was this figure. And when they got to the local government, they had changed the figure. And when they left the local government, going to the state, they also changed the figure. So, and I was telling the Oga that was in charge then, I said, PDP changed this figure. They tampered with the result. He said, my friend, forget about it. That is what a senior officer who was in charge there was telling me I should forget about it. Because this sum of money have entered his pocket. So, the electorate, those that are the voters, they must remain there and see that their votes are counted. And after counting, they should go to local government and ensure it is also counted. And the most important thing is that the representatives of party representatives, they are also thieves. They buy them out. So they will not want to say the truth. They buy them. So there is no transparency, there is no probity, there is no accountability, no ideology. And that is why we are missing it all out. Until we start to do the right thing, we will continue to do the wrong thing. Thank you this morning. God bless all of you. God bless Nigeria. God bless Trust TV. The trusted TV in Africa. My best television station in Africa. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He made a couple of points that obviously has, been spoken about and has been seen firsthand, which are the incessant inconsistencies and irregularities when it comes to vote counting and transmission of, votes. When it comes to a point where the people, the voters, have to be there, wait for the votes to be counted, make sure that it is absolutely done well and taken and escort those votes. I would say escort those votes. Then what are we doing?
All right, what are we doing indeed? Let's take the next caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you are calling from. Do we still have the caller on the line? All right. What Abasekong said, no doubt, is one of the few things people complained about during the elections. Something else I know people complained about was low, which people didn't really talk about it, but we saw it. In as much as they want to talk about results being rigged, there was still a certain level of low voters turnout. Compared to the noise that was being made on social media.
Absolutely.
We had some local government, some area councils, some polling units where the people that turned out were not even up to the number of people that were registered to vote. So putting all of that together, it still contributed to the key issues that 2023 elections, made. What plans does INEC have in place in these their reforms to include public enlightenment and importance of coming out to vote in their reforms? I have not seen it just yet. It's 142. We're still going through it to see more of it.
Yes.
But let's take the next call. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. Kindly turn down the volume.
I hear you. I'm speaking from Abauloma.
From Abauloma. Thank you for joining us. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Okay. Okay, please, what I'm saying is this. It's not what you people are saying, These people are deflecting from one other party to other parties. This bad government now is bad. Before, when you leave your party and join another party, the party will sack you and you lose your seat will become vacant. You go and contest again. That will make people not to leave party from one party to the other. That is why. Because of this government, judicial, they have killed the judiciary. They have nothing to say for the common man again.
All right.
They don't have justice.
The question we are asking is on electoral reforms.
But this one is one of them. You didn't call for this thing.
Okay.
But that one we are asking of electoral, this thing is very simple. If they don't want to do the right thing, we get the right thing. The other one, did they contest election? People who did they call them? They have to manipulate it. Unless they start doing the right thing, that is when we start getting better results. This electoral INEC people, what they are doing, they will have accountable negative happen if they don't know. So if they like, they tell me the whole money.
All right.
That's what I'm calling you.
Thank you very much there for your thoughts. Yeah, if I understand where she's coming from, she's saying the aspect of defection should also be part of the reforms that are being done. Because, why are people defecting like there is no party ideologies? What should be added in the reforms to curb that? Now, something else that marred the 2023 elections, that questions have been asked on, we need to see in clear terms how the cases of transportation of logistical challenges, transportation of electoral materials from the headquarters to the polling unit.
Yes,
this led to late voting in some places. This led to voters' frustration and in the end, low turnout. So in clear terms, what are the plans to include that, logistics, planning, to ensure timely arrival of voted materials and also to increase voters' participation, like I said.
Absolutely.
What are those things to make voters' education, make it easily accessible, let people know, let people be educated and informed on everything regarding voting and election in their indigenous language. I was opportune to do a production pre-election, and we had so many young people who just turned 18, but they were eager to vote. But they did not know the they did not know the voting process. They did not know what to do when they get to the ballot box. Although those things came out in infographics, we had those who couldn't communicate in English and could not read this. They understood it in their indigenous language. Absolutely. So what plans are there to make sure that this is broken down? It's going to take a lot of efforts and money. But if they're really looking forward to having this many reforms, then they should be ready to put in as much work.
And the awareness is supposed to highlight the importance of that particular, should I say, event for each and every Nigerian to go out and vote, because we should put that in mind, rewire ourselves and relearn that our votes definitely count.
God's willing, it to get to a point where the question on Daybreak before you contribute to be, do you have your PVC? You don't have your PVC, end the call, sir. We might not have to take your idea. Or did you? I tried it once, and I said, if you know you didn't vote during this election, or you're not out to vote, please do not call in. because it's only those that vote that have the right to call in and criticize the government because their vote is in there. But if you
Don't
didn't
tell
vote,
me that there was a low turnout.
there
of
was
callers.
a very low turnout of callers, and it showed that a lot of people are commenting on social media and talking about it, but they're not putting in the action.
Exactly.
They're not putting in the action.
So put your money where your mouth is. Exactly. If you're going to talk about something, if you're going to complain about something, do something about it. Make sure you put in your own quota, because at the end of the day, it affects you, it affects your lives, and it affects people that are around you. We're going to take another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
One Mr. Brian calling from Jos.
All right, how is Jos this morning?
Jos is fine.
All right, let's hear your thoughts.
Yes. I want to commend Trust TV for a well-done job.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, and the moderators, presenters of the program are doing excellently there.
All right, thank you. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yes, what we have today in Nigeria is that politicians have taken advantage of the voters to their own advantage. And they always try to make use of this advantage during election period. Or what will you say that APC is not busy trying to drag people to their party? Instead of them to go out and enlighten the public on how to take advantage of the election, they are now going all over the place looking at people that will help them make election. So we want to tell them that we are what we are. The electors are just watching them.
It seems the volume of your TV is turned up and you're trying to listen to yourself on your TV set.
Yeah, so please.
Can you turn down the volume of your TV set and wrap up your conversation? All right, we lost the caller. Please do want to turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone. The question still stays, electoral reforms. How can we make our elections better in Nigeria? What changes would you like to see in Nigeria's electoral system to make it more transparent and more efficient?
Absolutely.
Do we have a caller on the line? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Stephen.
Good morning. Thank you so much for calling us, Amina. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. Thanks for your work, well done. I have a very good topic. But like I always say, and I'll keep saying, most of the time, the problem we have is not the law or the reform, but the people, the implementation. The law is there, but the law cannot put itself to work. It's the people that will make it work. When the law is there and the right thing is not done, how do you get good result? All these things that are being lined up, you can do, the law can be as beautiful as anything. But because the implementation is bad, because the people that are doing it are not ready to put the right thing, put the round peg in the right hole, you always have the wrong thing being done. Nigeria will have a very big problem. Our problem is, yes, this is the law, this is what's supposed to be done, but we do things based on our own interests. And that interest is what is killing us. Unfortunately, we have the masses that are gullible. Whatever they want to do, they do it based on the little crumb that is being sent down to them. The issue I had one of the callers that was talking of how numbers are being changed from the after it's being counted from the polling unit. That's why the other time I was saying it, I said our vote does not count. When you have 10 from the polling unit and before it gets to the INEC office, you have 20. So does our vote count? Yeah, it doesn't count. The truth here is this: whether we follow this result down to the INEC office, we are just wasting our time. Because we have so many Nigerians there that are after their pockets at that time. And the moment that little thing fall into the pocket, it will change their own sense of reasoning. The reform here, as far as I'm concerned, the reform here will not. I don't say anything so important or so interesting about the reform. Talking of getting seats for women, all these things they are just money. I thought they will also talk of something like this deflation from one party to another. This is a very serious issue. This is where the politicians make mess of the country, make mess of the masses. They should talk about this. They should bring a reform that will put things right in this home. We shouldn't make our politics to look like child's play. That's what is happening now. When the EFCC or ICPC knock at anybody's door, the next day we hear is in APC, and that door is being closed. It's unfortunate. The law is not our problem. The reform is not our problem. The implementation is our problem. And right from the polling unit down to the heads there, we have a problem. The man that calls himself an agent at the polling unit is only agent when nothing gets to his pocket. But the moment something gets to his pocket, the reason why he's been kept there is defeated. I just hope things will work. It will only work if we work on ourselves. These reforms are just they are just thoughts. It will not work on its own. It will not implement itself. Nigeria should wake up to the truth until we think of the truth, until we are ready to put things right. All these reforms are just mainstay. Thank you, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. She actually made a couple of important points, and one of the things that has been revolving around all Nigerians' head is this incessant defection, and we have to be honest with it. The biggest question that should be asked is, what are the stipulations that determines or that would enable someone to defect from one party to the other, not just defecting willy-nilly as we are seeing happening today. We have another caller, Shatima from Maiduguri. Hello, good morning, Shatima.
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Lilian.
Good morning, Shatima. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
About the electoral reform. My sister Amina have said everything, and I really appreciate all her submission. Truth of the matter is, these reforms are there on papers. These recommendations they are making for reform, they are doing it for their betterment. They are trying to clear a way that they will emerge in 2027, and in which we have prayed hard and God have answered our prayer. This thing will not happen. All these reforms that you are seeing, it is just a mere statement. It will, as Amina said, implementation. That's where the problem is. But they can make a sweet English on paper and on the screen of the television. And when they gather up, they drink their teas. And you see, Lilian, look at the way they have created artificial property and injected into Nigerians. Look, if at all you have been appointed as art worker of the INEC, and a million or half of a million placed before you, what do you think will happen? You see, that's the problem that we're having. Let them tell the reality. But in our own part, we have prayed hard for the betterment of this country. All our dreams is how Nigeria will be good, and how God will help us to bring a credible people to handle the affairs of the country. Because all these people that we are having now, they are after themselves and their pocket. That's the reality. And you see, I was very surprised. In the open day, in the right day of that, on the election day, Everybody in Nigeria can bear witness. You can see the way the people that they are safeguarding votes and the people that they are working for that electoral act and electoral work, they are thieving openly. I can tell you now, even the thieving that goes from naira to dollar. They are giving them dollars. How do you think a hungry man can resist? That's the reality. We should try as much as we can, to sanitize our mind, to inculcate fairness of votes into our heart. The workers and the voters. We should know that we will stand one day and God will ask us on any act of cheating that we do. But inshallah, Allah will not allow these things to happen. 2027 Nigeria will see a new reform. By God's willing. That's my take. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Shatima. I love his optimism. I love his resolve towards, making sure that Nigerians come out and vote. And all of this, what matters, the most important factor of all of this is voters' education.
Absolutely.
How well are voters going to be educated and equipped to know that their vote, if they come out in large numbers? I know Amina would disagree with me, saying that the more we come out, the more most likely our vote will not count because they want the numbers to reach. She has that opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm still of the opinion that, we need the numbers. When you come out en masse to vote with one voice,
Absolutely.
cuts across ethnic, religious, cultural biases, Nigerians are one. These divides are not happening. It will be so hard to rig it. Let's take the next call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
My name is Olubenga Fale, your usual caller.
Good morning.
From Kishi.
Good morning.
The Airport local government.
Good morning, Faleye. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I am happy for the topic we are treating this morning. How can we make our election better based on the electoral reforms? I first of all want to tell you that the electoral reforms, even if it's done 1,000 times, even if it is reviewed 1,000 times, it has to play according to the rules of the engagement. I'm talking about the electorates. If you don't obey the law, politicians, security operatives, if you don't obey the law, the government. So what are we talking about? We need electoral reform. It will be done. It will be on the paper. But is it obeyed? A law is being passed. People are not obeying the law. You can see how politicians are harming the thugs. They go and destruct the voting centers. You can see the security operatives, they will look sideways. You can see all the people, even the INEC will be induced. You can even see when the matter is taken to the court, the judiciary will do whatever they like. So the problem is obeying the electoral reforms, obeying the law to the letter. So if politicians don't play according to the rule of engagement, there will be problem. If the voters don't play according to the rules of engagement, there will be problem. If the security operatives who are detailed to monitor the election did not play to the rules of engagement, there will be problem. So everybody's hand must be on deck. Obey the law. That's all. So we have not gotten it right. I'm telling you, by 2027 rather, the thing will still be more. Nobody will obey the electoral reforms. But by the time the government begin to prosecute the electoral offenders,
Yes.
and they are publicizing it on the media, then everybody will be sit up. Everybody will begin to obey the electoral reform. But if the election offenders are not punished, the left then, because of the gains of these politicians, then what are we talking about? So the electoral reforms must be obeyed. They can do it 100 times, but if people don't play according to the rule of engagement, there'll be problem. That's my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fale. He's coming on the part of justice, saying that when, and there's also a part there where there's a question that goes on, there is always a case of mass voter suppression and violence during elections in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
What punishment or what set out laws are they to make sure that those people face due punishment? What set out laws are there? Now, another thing that came to my mind before his call came in was two countries that I want to believe Nigerians should look up to in Africa that did the two major things that we're finding it difficult to do in our electoral processes. Number one, South Africa. They ensured that during that elections it was so transparent. Everybody followed it, was struggling with that.
And transparency is key.
We see Ghana. Their election, they made voters' education a priority during their election. That is what we also need here. So
Absolutely.
Can we look up to these countries?
Absolutely.
Well, let's take the next call. Good morning.
This is Adamu from Koto calling back.
Thank you for joining us back. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Because I saw how can we make our elections fair. So, right in my house, I monitored the election in Ghana, and I saw how their elections were being conducted, how there was no rigging, and if they happened to be rigging, it was minimal. So that is the same thing I want to be replicated here. Now, how can we make our elections better? One, the reforms that they need to do at the ward there, when they collect, make the electorate, since they have money to dish out, they should arrange money so that they will now prepare documents so that you that voted, okay, in this ward, we had 5,000 people that voted. Then each person will be given that card to show that, yes, they voted, this is my right, and this is the people that voted in this ward. Then when they transfer to the local government, there will be no way to tamper with the result. That is one. Two, how can we make our elections better? Money bags should not be allowed within the vicinity, within the periphery. They should not allow them. I remember when I was in service, a local government chairman came and he was, showing their party logo, their party flag. He said, that kind of party should not, those kind of things should not exist. They should not allow chairman, governor, where they are voting, and their logo, because indirectly or directly they are buying the consent of people. Three, what are they supposed to do again? What they need to be done when they are escorting the papers or the ballot papers, they must ensure that, because on the road they used to change. So once they give out those cards to every individual from their ward, from their constituency, there will be no way for changes. So if they change, then they will know. Three, they should be computerized. Once there is computerization, figures cannot be tampered with. Five, they must ensure that all the security officers that are coming, some will come and say, what do you have for me? What do you have for me? Those things should be stopped. They should be stopped, because I don't want to mention the name of the undercover security agents that used to come. They will call all the parts, what do you have for me? And we are there, we are watching what is happening. Until these things are put in place, my sister, they will continue to be rigging, they will continue to be bad reform. Thank you, God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Abasekong. I love the fact that you came listing all the reforms that should be made, to better the election. And that aspect of having card to sign when you voted, just like when you take vaccination and you're being marked.
Yes.
This is Nigeria. Won't one way be found around it, especially when it comes to election. But transparency,
is key.
Adequate voters' education, despite the reforms, is key. If we really want to be honest, these reforms have seen a tad bit of difference in our electioneering process through the years. If we want to cut our neck, some slack. Yes, they brought in beavers. it's okay for us to face technical glitch.
Absolutely.
It happens. It's not human.
Absolutely.
It's not perfect. But what moving forward, are we going to focus on just the beavers, or are we going to focus on going back to what we're doing before, having ballot papers? But you know, all of these are all angles we've explored this morning on this discussion segment.
Absolutely.
And it's so good that Nigerians have had diverse opinions on it as well. But we're going to be having a deep dive in this in our discussion segment.